Presentation of Zambia, Kenneth Kaunda. Protests began against the proposed amalgamation of Northern Rhodesia, Zambia, Southern Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, and Nyasaland, Malawi, to form the British-controlled Central African Federation. They wanted to disband the federation and form an independent state, Zambia. African nationalism increased in opposition to the Central African Federation plan. The first political party was formed, the Northern Rhodesia African National Congress. They unsuccessfully threatened to strike and took their complaint to the Queen and British Parliament. Appeals went unanswered. Between 1954 to 1958, boycotts and pickets began. The government responded with repression, and Kenneth Kaunda and H. Mwanga Gumbula, the first leaders, were jailed. In 1958, SO revived support for the creation of an independent Zambian state. Gumbula wanted a more reformist route to maintain ties with the British. This caused a split in the party. The Zambian African National Congress, ZANC, was formed and banned. Increased repression led to demonstrators damaging property, riots, and acts of arson broke out. Many imprisoned. In 1959, the United National Independence Party, UNIP, was formed, and Kaunda became the leader. Kenneth Kaunda. Kaunda founded the Zambian African National Congress, later becoming the Socialist United National Independence Party, UNIP. In 1960, British officials conferred with Kaunda and proposed a constitution with an African majority in the legislature. UNIP began a civil disobedience campaign as Kaunda was impressed by Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King. In 1962, they gained a majority of government seats. Zambia became independent in 1973. Kaunda elected. Kaunda was elected Prime Minister in January 1964, became president in October, and served from 1964 to 1991. Kaunda's initiatives. Educational reform was instituted to ensure that all children were educated. The University of Zambia was opened in 1966. Trouble. A partnership was instituted to nationalize mineral companies. These companies were compensated through bond redemptions, which led to heavy borrowing from the International Monetary Fund to pay them. The banks remained foreign-owned. The government became authoritarian, banning political parties and strikes. Kaunda would be the only candidate during elections, and he controlled parliament. Developed a nationalist socialist ideology called Zambian humanism based on African values and wrote several books. Supported the non-aligned movement, was an anti-apartheid proponent, and was against white rule in Southern Rhodesia. He endorsed black nationalist movements in Angola and Mozambique and allowed ZANU, the African National Congress, and the People's Liberation Army of Namibia to set up military encampments. Chair of the Organizations of African Unity in 1971 and 1987. Served as mediator between white settlers in Southern Rhodesia and Namibia, but was unsuccessful. A meditator, vegetarian, and educator, his trajectory was peace. Became an ancestor in 2021 at the age of 97. Citations and images.